Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and I'm going to tackle this one last thing. And this one last thing is, if I come all the way back to the top here, it is when I am doing something like, where is it? I don't remember. 205. 205. So it's with this handler information for this, and this only happens when you're doing a return for a ref-like type. Okay, which I just noticed there's this internal static class expectations wrapper extension which actually gives you back one of these things, which sort of kind of makes sense. Property adornments for that, I adornments for that. Okay, so I might have to do a couple takes at this to see if I can finally get it right and learn while I'm doing it. So actually what I'm planning on doing is making a branch off of this current branch, which I don't think there's anything, well, that is, what's the difference? I think it's just, yeah, the type, that doesn't matter. So make a branch off of this branch. Well, I could commit it, say, okay, so that won't give me any. Bleh. What I could do is make a branch off of this branch, do all this work. If it works, then merge it into my current 167 branch. If it doesn't, discard it and try something else, which I've never made a branch. I mean, I've made a branch off a branch. You make branches off a main, but to make a branch off of a branch that's off a main will work just fine. I've just realized I've never done that. Never had to. And yet here we are. So here's the thing I think I need to do. The branch, blah, blah, blah. Create this interface. That should be easy. Handler, implement that. That should be easy. Run all the tests. Nothing should break. Where this was used, change it to high handler information. And I think the key spots are in these places. That also shouldn't break anything. Now comes the tricky part. When I generate this type, I need it to be a ref struct for ref-like types. And that implements this. That means I have to figure out the interface in terms of what it actually needs to implement. And that's done here. And then I think I need to split it into pointers and ref-like types. So I might create these two things because this is mock projected types. Yeah. And just create these two types with these two builder things. And then say run the test. Hopefully everything should work. I am not convinced that this is going to work. We definitely need an integration test around this at the end of the day, even if it all works, that we're not failing anymore. If this doesn't work, I don't really know. There's no way to handle a return value that's a ref-like type. I think we have to do something. So then I think I need to spend some really deep time going, what is it that I'm actually trying to do here? So, my feeling is we're going to enter into plan B territory, but we'll see. So new branch based on this branch, 167, handler information work. Okay. So we got that. So now we say done. Now let's do this off of that. And let's say extract interface. I handler interface rocks. Okay, so we derive from that, which should be fine. What is the problem here? Oh, for God's sakes, are you kidding me? I guess, well, do I want to start thinking about what really needs to be in this interface and what really doesn't? I'm not sure. I think probably, where's verify being called? Oh, that's cute. So verify is being a method that you can call internally, but you can't call externally. So that's wonderful. I think for now, well, that's interesting because it only get, whoops. First of all, we want the properties down here. Okay. And we're going to say suppress it. I don't think it should really matter. Add raise event. I could change this because this is just the name, and I don't use names when I call things. There. And then we come back here and we say that, and now this should be fine. Okay. that I want not there, but like that. Okay, so I think we've done that. And like I said, this should not break anything. So we're going to have to shut down, start up again, but let's actually do that and make sure that we didn't break anything. So be back. All right, we're good. We got one failing test, but that's a code generation test, which we would have expected. So that's all good. So done there. Now let's say git commit 167 iHandler information is created. Commit that. Then we got to remember to manage that back into the other 167 branch, not the main, because that would make no sense whatsoever. Okay, now wherever this is being used, we need to go to iAdornments, and I believe I want to say that that's iHandler information. Okay. Expectations of T. The handlers needs to be a list of iHandler information. And iMock handlers. This also needs a change, but the iMock itself also needs a change. And I believe, let's just check this quick. Yes, when we create a private, that should be somewhere in the builders, mock type builder. Yeah, right here. Name of iHandler. Okay. Now, these are okay to cast because we know they're of that type for these specific ones. Okay. It's when I believe you get to when we've generated it. Come on. There's going to be one showing up here somewhere. Because it should say, yeah, when we generated it, we have a specific one, and that's why we're creating this interface in the first place. So I believe it's okay now to do this. Okay. So let's just do a quick build. This will see if basic stuff will build, and it doesn't. And I should also keep notes. I believe it's saying it needs to be an I here. Yes. I want to take a note because if I have to go through this again with a different plan, then I don't run into this problem again. So I know at least all the places I got to do it. iHandler does not have, yes, it doesn't. You're correct. Because we have that as being internal. So we're going to have to make that public. And then we're going to make this part of the interface. I could make it explicitly implemented, but yeah, so we're going to shut down, start to get up again. Hopefully that didn't break anything too badly. Okay, we found one bug, and that's iMock handlers is iHandler interface, not iHandler information, not handler information, which is fine. I also had a thought, hold on. It should be somewhere down here, right? That should do it. I also had a thought, I'm going to try it right now, which is what happens if I unload the project, the integration test project, and reload it? Because that should, you know, I'm wondering, does that actually, because the whole reason I shut down and start up again is because Visual Studio will load that. What am I trying to say here? It will load the source generator stuff and keep it in the memory. But if this project says I've gone away, like if I say, this is purely an experiment. I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work. Okay. So now let's say reload project. Now let's try to build again. Because that would, if this does work, that would be a lot faster than having to shut down Visual Studio and start up again. And it succeeded. Did I just find a new trick, or was that just because there's just something that it went, I didn't have to do a big change. So let's run tests while I'm babbling. That would be cool though, if you could just unload and reload. Oh, just that one project. That would be sweet. But it could just be that I got lucky and it reloaded that. I have no idea. So yeah, I don't think it really did what I wanted it to do. Because I said reload. Okay, maybe let's not get our hopes up. Because I know its performance test was still failing. And that has a analyzer reference. Oh, I bet I know what this is. Because we are passing in, we're creating this, that's information, that's here. But you notice it's still saying list of handler information here. Well, no, I don't want it. This is with mock projected adornments type build. Yes, this needs to be a iHandler information. But here's the catch. We haven't done this yet for this type. Okay. And for pointers, it's okay if it back up the bus again. What's the problem? Information is this. If I go to that, it does implement handler information. Okay. So now we're saying add or update cannot navigate to the system another care. Whoop. The type arguments for method, that whole big thing. What is handlers here? So just arguments, that's that. And the error is, because it's both of these, add for delegate point, add for end pointer, cannot be inferred from the usage. Yeah, I wish I knew what type arguments you were talking about. Where would this be? Self.expectations, so expectations wrapper. And then we go to the expectations, that's expectations of T. And handlers. Right. That'd be an iHandler information. And this is deriving from this thing here and this thing here. They're both deriving from handler information. So that should be fine. Type arguments for method, key value, func value, action value. I don't know why it... I don't know why it's barking. Add or update gives you the key. Does it have to be an oh. Okay. Does it have to be an I here? I believe so. Now, we're going to build, just rebuild after we did clean. If my theory is correct, it should still fail. But if I unload and reload that project, we should have success. Succeeded, so I don't know. Maybe I don't need to shut down and start up again as much as I think I do. Let's run all the tests. Let's see what happens. 20 failed. Holy crap. Well, oh, 7 of them are going to fail because of the generated code. That I get. Oh yeah, these are all going to fail because they're expecting this to be iHandler information. Okay, give me a moment. Let me go through all these because these should be simple. And I'm also going to shut down and start up again even after I run all the tests to see if they're successful because I'm not fully buying this. So give me a little bit of time. Let me go through these and I'll get back to you. Okay, shut down, start up again, run. Everything seems to work. But now we finally got into the tricky part, which is when I generate for a ref-like type, I need it to be a ref struct. Okay, and it needs to implement iHandler information. So what does that mean? I need to generate code. So we already have a pointer length. So this is here. So unpin this, go here, do that. And where would this be? Down here, because we finally realize handler information. Yep. And if it's a pointer, we got to do this. So here's where we'd want to say, if it's a pointer, go generate here. And if it's not, we want to, excuse me, I think we could, yeah. I'm babbling a lot, aren't I? What are we going to need here? Probably just these two things, if that's all they need. Not WID, build. Okay, so for a pointer-like thing, we know it's a pointer, so we can say is unsafe. Where is that being used? We don't need, we can say it's unsafe because we know it's going to be unsafe. We probably want this to be a referenceable name. Okay. So that's that. Now we're just going to copy and paste this. And what do we want to call this one? Ref like handler. Okay. That's interesting. I thought it would like take all this and it didn't. Yeah, I know. Just shut up. Okay, so we know it's not going to be this. We know it's not going to be ref struct. At least we know that. And this is going to implement handler information, not handler information. Okay. So we got all that. Now what? We would need to say somewhere down here, if type is pointer, else do this. So we want to say mock pointer build writer type. Otherwise we want to say ref there. And I believe in both of these, I'm grabbing the name for that. Yes. Okay. So now we at least have the structure set up that we can say, if you're doing a pointer, just do it the normal way you did it. And now the ref like type is going to be a little bit more interesting because we need to actually implement iHandler for this. There is no base here. So, God, Serenity now. This is where I wish I could have a raw string literal, because this is going to be a lot of raw string literal stuff. So I'm going to need to think about a little bit about what this type actually is going to need inside of it. So I'm going to do that off screen. And then in the next episode, I won't try to run it. You know, I'll get the code here, but then we'll try to run and see how bad things are broken in these cases. You know, we'll just go from there. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.